Growing up in a strict environment, there were a lot of limitations and restrictions that you cannot cross. One of those was cursing. In my entire life, I haven't heard my parents utter a single bad word, not even once, so you can imagine how polite our household was. I'm here to argue that this is absolute madness. Repression breeds obsession. Shoving me into the world and expecting me to remain polite is like browsing YouTube in restricted mode. It's impossible, man. Sometimes you gotta take a peek at the fun stuff. This is exactly what happened in school. I started picking up some curse words from my friends. While I never knew the meaning of them, I remember my harsh and negative thoughts towards any person who cursed. But it turns out, bad words are just words.
I get tired of people talking about bad words and bad language. Bullshit! It's the context that makes them good or bad.
Here's a test right now. Drop everything and answer. What does this phrase mean? It's French for go fuck yourself. Congrats, man. You learned an important new phrase today. But why it's easier for you to say
Va te faire foutre
than to say go fuck yourself? In other words, why it's easier to swear in your non-native language? If I asked you to sing this song in public all day, you probably would, because this phrase doesn't have that impact, that punch that is associated with your childhood. So you wouldn't be that shy to say it. That's why I'm so grateful that I started learning a second language, because this over politeness and shyness started to fade away. I would stand in front of a mirror and whisper, fuck, and then giggle like an 8-year-old girl. I experienced this rush full of pleasure and freedom. Wow, I'm being
So naughty.
And cursing is trusting. Think about it. You don't curse in front of a stranger you've met for the first time. Samuel Jackson is an exception. It usually takes a couple of hours before getting comfortable with a stranger and being yourself. That's why cursing is a sign of trust and honesty. We say what's in our minds, we're not filtering our language to be more palatable. And most kids don't have to be taught what's offensive and what isn't. They'll figure the swearing etiquette out on their own. And to be clear, there's a fundamental difference between cursing at your kid and cursing around him. There's little, if any, social science data demonstrating that a word in and of itself can cause harm. Here's a perfect example. While I was at my friend's house, his dad started a conversation and all of a sudden, he started throwing some cuss words between the sentences. Now imagine how mind-blown I was, being a polite, innocent kid hearing these crimes. How could this adult talk in front of me like it's no big deal? But you know what? Every time he said a curse word, a subtle grin flashed across my face. Deep down, I knew that this man trusted me. He trusted me to figure out for myself when and when not to curse. He even trusted me to grow up and make a YouTube video about it. And I'm sure you've heard that there was an experiment where two people would submerge their hands in icy water. The person who sworn would tolerate more pain than the one who didn't. Why? Because swearing activates the brain endogenous opioid centers, which is a fancy way of saying to your mind, here's some morphine you could use. Are you following me on all of these benefits? This is some fucking science, man. When I started doing these videos, I had a decision to make. Should I keep this a family-friendly channel like the majority of the media right now, or simply be myself? Fuck yeah, I'm choosing the second option. I don't care if these videos get demonetized, as long as I'm having fun doing them. Many have fought and died just to defend this fundamental human right called freedom of speech. So why everybody is getting offended when they hear a bad word? I'm offended by others being so easily offended. Anyway, that's it. See you in another propaganda video, where I explain why it's okay to masturbate in public. Subscribe so you don't miss out. It's gonna be wild.